Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the annual Antelope Valley Fair Destruction Derby here Sunday afternoon. And it is time to start it off with the first Destruction Derby heat race.
Okay, here we go. On 5, 4.
Hear the countdown begin.
3, 2, 1.
It's the 2016 edition of Crunchin' and Crashin'.
And a big crunch already at the start, a couple of them crunching away. How about I tell you who's in this one? And the number 32, that is piloted by Robbie Lassos, the 00 who made impact with him early on, John Vasquez. Then we got the number 50, piloted by Jeremy Edwards, the 01 first timer out here. That is, I see a number but not a name, but it's a lady.
Are you talking about the 01 machine, Tommy?
I am. Way over here, Kayla is piloting the number 01 Chamness. And that is your field with the number 41 rounding it off. We got Corey Carter behind the wheel of his number 41 machine.
Yeah, late entry here. As far as the driver sheet goes,
yes.
Good to see another Carter taking part in all this. Tommy, right now this is the first of 2 heat races. We have 10 cars total for the main event here tonight. This is going to be an opportunity for these drivers to kind of fill out their cars, fill out their competition. And although we're actually seeing some pretty decent sized hits here, I didn't anticipate to see some hard hitting like we've seen.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Jeremy Edwards got lucky on that one. Carter's going to slam into Vasquez in his number 00 machine. Vasquez already hurting on that right front. The suspension tied up, locked down. And he's got some work to do from the heats to the feature. Took another axle hit from the 32 of Lassos. 01 lost a radiator, or a hose at least.
There's also a front bumper.
That doesn't help. You can see the fluid underneath the right front wheel of the 01 of Kayla's machine.
Tommy, we've covered this event for the last few years now. Let's see a couple more radiators that may be taking a dive.
And for this, when you've got heats in a derby, you obviously have to bring the spares. Spare a lot as you can pack in those trucks. Vasquez putting Carter up on the berm. Edwards slamming into the 32 of Vasquez now.
01, Kayla Chamness is not having any luck getting re-going, and it looks like number 00's out.
Checkered flag's going to fly.
There it is, done. And Vasquez going to just do a
I think
celebratory.
Robbie wanted the last word on that one.
Yeah,
though.
I think he did.
Robbie Lassos in the number 32 machine. Checkered flag is out. Double reds are flying.
New car for Robbie.
That's not... Hey, Tommy, this is the Britisher. It's more British
Exactly.
than the last one.
Exactly. His car seemed to have fared the best out of all of them.
Okay, they're gonna.
He's the only car. No, Edwards is now pulling off the course. Yeah, the flat right front, which is good compared to Vasquez. Carter's continuing on.
And they told these drivers in the drivers' meeting, if we don't see you hitting in these heat races, you won't be in the main event. So.
Exactly. But they also told them, let's not kill the cars in the heats either.
Yeah, let's at least have a show. Here we go. Some teamwork after some blood work. And speaking of blood work, Tommy.
Yeah, what the heck happened to you?
So Tommy and I were setting up all the cameras. I didn't even get to place one onboard camera before I ended up taking a bit of a spill. On this machine right here, the 01, nothing on them. It was all me, Tommy. They had their windshield set up, their metal windshield, and pulled my arm back, and my pinky was like, well, I'm going to hang out here.
Yeah, your pinky got stuck on the windshield screen.
So I got to hang out in the nice air-conditioned, first aid center for a little bit.
I'm sure you loved that.
I got some developments, by the way, very pertinent to the Derby here that I wanted to bring up from the first aid center, the infield care center, as we'll call it. There's been a couple of burns happening on the slide.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Now you know why I don't ride the fair rides. Which, funny enough, what did I tell you on Thursday? Out of all the fair rides that I would go on,
The slide.
The slide, because God forbid someone missed a nut or a bolt like I always do while putting stuff together, the slide, all it does is I'll just slide to the bottom.
But I mean, truth be told, First Aid Center definitely one that it was nice and thorough, Tommy. I have no worries at this fair.
So if you don't feel right, go to the First Aid Center at the Antelope Valley Fair, and they will treat you right.
I'm sure this is what happens if I don't get a tetanus shot, though.
They throw shirts at you.
No, even worse.
You turn into a hamster?
I turned into a hamster.
That's no good.
No, can't happen. Well, we're getting ready for heat race number 2. Tommy, you already see them lining up here, so why don't we go quickly? Well, we could even take our time a little bit.
Yeah, let's take our time.
Through who's going to be in this one.
They're still cleaning the track after the first heat. In this one, the number 22 looks to be starting, if it was a NASCAR event, on the pole. That is Tony Redneck Irabiren.
There's beer.
They pronounced the beer in his name. So Irabiren. Redneck Irabiren.
While you get ready for our next guy, just taking a look over at John's 00 machine to assess the damage.
So they're going to have to be pounding on that trunk for visibility. And then they have some work to do on that right front.
Yeah.
Suspension area. It was locked up pretty good. Over next to Irabiren is the number...
That's a 53 machine, Tommy. The Pokeball car.
Pokeball.
Gotta wreck them all.
Brand new car. Look at those two. Don't even have a scratch on them. That is Chris Shameless in the number 53. And our other two competitors in this one, the number 49. That is the car that we saw in our figure 8 race here on Thursday night.
Still got the ex-wife.
You can check out those videos on our channel, the figure 8 race at Antelope Valley Thursday night action. That is Ken Lucazonas in the 49, and two Kens right side, the 21 of Luke Minelli. Minelli. Italian.
There should be one other car in this, Tommy. I believe it should be the 42 machine of John Carter.
John Carter, here he comes.
There he is.
So John Carter rounding out. So we got 2 5-car heats. So if that, my math is correct.
There's a lot of fresh cars here this year.
Yes. If my math is correct, I think we're going to have 10 cars in the main.
Impeccable math, Tommy.
Thank you, man. I'm still learning.
So John Carter, a staple of the Antelope Valley Fair. I think he's kind of like Team Low Budget, Tommy, you and I, when it comes to events at the Antelope Valley Fair, but us at Irwindale, where we basically, if they have a destruction event, we're going to try to be part of every single one.
Exactly. He's a huge supporter. Angel's Touch Towing, always trying to find something that they can use for these events, and sometimes they find a little extra. Funny enough, though, that car is not technically their car. Brian Lear found that car and told John Carter, "You are running the Demolition Derby," and John said, "Okay."
Yeah, Brian, one of the officials out here, saw him a couple times. He's done some racing.
He's over there in that Panama straw hat.
53.
That's Brian.
Number 22.
Him and I have the same numbers.
Yep.
We both choose 96s on our cars.
Taking a look at some of the competitors as their cars will look now and not later.
Jeffrey, last year we saw an upset with these in the Destruction Derby main. We saw a front-wheel drive 6-cylinder Buick, I believe, take the win against all these other rear-wheel drive full-framed machines. And that was a lot of fun, Jeffrey. It was a head-to-head match all the way to the end. And looking through the pits, you would have never thought that car would have won.
No, I think we all kind of snickered at that car at the beginning of the day. But, Tommy, if there's one driver out here that's going to carry in the goods from that event, the car was purple, so John Carter.
And the car from last year that ran pretty well was a 21, who's back at it again with his little wagon, Luke Minelli. So he's looking to try to better his result from last year. But yeah, Jeffrey, what I was meaning to say was anything can happen in a Destruction Derby. You might think you brought a knife to a gunfight, and you never know. Sometimes
there's a lot of luck involved in Demolition Derbies. I can tell you from experience, Tommy, 1 week ago, I was in Victory Lane in a Demolition Derby.
That reverse.
Yeah, I lost reverse halfway through the Derby, and I was like, well, this is gonna suck.
And funny enough, there was plenty of good cars out there. And the 2 cars that finished 1 and 2, the winner, you, had no reverse. Second place car was on 3 cylinders the day that he got it from the junkyard.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, everybody's touching the berm like they should
All right.
be.
here we go. Heat race number 2 about to get underway.
So I don't anticipate this one being a harder hitting heat race,
I don't know.
but that's just anticipation.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1, and we're green.
Green flag is out. Who's going to make
No
the
one's
first
moving.
move? And now we're moving. 53 going to come across into the side and tap the 22, which that made him angry and went after the 42 of John Carter.
And now he's stuck. He's stuck. Which is just going to allow for this.
So Chameness made the
And
first.
unstuck.
Chameness made the first impact.
That was a really big shot there.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to hit the 21, but he got him anyways.
And moat.
Oh, got off though. The 22 making it happen.
Well, kind of.
I put a camera on the speaker deck of that car, and the crew was very excited for that camera angle. Tony Irbian, the redneck out here, because
Tommy, I haven't seen that 42 of Carter move once.
yeah, that's interesting. Because they were hoping that they'd be able to hear him screaming like a girl in that car.
Good.
The ex-wife machine, the 49, Lucas Zonas.
Tommy, you kind of pointed to that car and went, I like this car.
The 49, yeah. I mean, what else is there left to crunch in on that rear end?
You see some work that's going to need to be put into the 22 machine.
Oh,
you
yeah.
see the rear end going down.
That's never what you want on a dirt track. And you can see it's already starting to cut down onto that tire. So it's only a matter of time before that one starts to go flat.
And Tommy, they don't have a lot of time in between now and the main event. We
No,
do
this-
have another Demolition Derby that'll be taking place.
The modified derby. And then we'll have some other intermissions, if you will. So, but you're right, Jeffrey. What, maybe an hour tops from the end of this heat race till the feature?
Trash can.
Maybe even less. 45 minutes could be.
Number 22 is still rolling out there. Tony Iribaran.
Those Pokeballs are spinning.
That's cool. I love what he did with the rear, actually both tires, but I love what it looks like when it's moving. That car actually looks like a good race car.
Yeah, well, it did. It's starting to look like a derby car, though. Checker flag will fly.
Checker flag.
So we'll see what these... We're going to have 2 cars that will be able to drive it off here.
All right, so no technical winner in these heat races. Nobody going home unless their cars are too badly damaged.
Gotta wreck them all.
They gotta wreck 'em all.
It's funny how you say no one too badly damaged, and that's because the 49 showed up like this.
Yeah, Jeffrey, big development. Carter has not moved an inch other than when he was hit from the start of this derby. Though if Carter's car is acting funny and he can't get it to run tonight, he's still participating in the trailer race.
He'll let out his frustration there. The
Exactly.
trailer race will be the last event of the night.
And he's got himself a camper to tow with. So with that, that's it for the heat races. Coming up next, the main event. Here Sunday afternoon, the Antelope Valley Fair 2016 Destruction Derby.
It is now main event time here for the 2016 Demolition Derby at the AV Fair. Tommy, we started with 10 here tonight. Looking like we may be down to 9. We saw the issues for the 42 machine of John Carter, and as we know, he was in the trailer race that took place, and you can check that out on our YouTube channel. But that trailer race was in between the 2 derbies. I'm thinking that he might just not have had time or determined that something was really wrong with that car.
Jeffrey, we saw in the heat race earlier in the day that this car, or his car, I should say, the 42, what's going on with my microphone? The 42 did not move an inch under his own power. He was stuck over in the corner. It seemed like the car shut itself down and couldn't able to get that 42 machine back up. So what we have in the main event, the number 01, starting her first ever Demolition Derby here at the Antelope Valley Fair, the number 01 of Kayla Chambness, and then you see the number 50 of Jeremy Edwards, the 00, the Deadpool themed car, gonna face up against the Pokemon themed car, the 00, that is driver of John Vasquez, and the 53, piloted by our other Chambness, Chris Chambness, the number 49, that is Ken Lucazones, the 21 machine, piloted by Luke Minelli, the 32, Robbie Lassos, and the 22, and round out our field of Tony Redneck Iribiris. So 9 left to battle it out for the trophy here tonight.
Actually down to 8.
You're right, because
We see the other
41
Carter machine.
41 almost made it to the track, but
He's in there working on something, Tommy, wondering if he's having a battery issue. Here comes
I was getting excited because Corey Carter.
Tommy. They're putting gas in the car.
Corey Carter having some issues here, and he was on his way, except for looks like he ran out of gas on his way.
Well, if you're gonna do it in the pits.
Yeah, can't do much when it's on the track.
But just wondering if that's just an attempted fix of maybe another issue, Tommy. We've run cars like these in trailer racing and whatnot. Sometimes when the fuel's not getting in, out of fuel is usually the first of many potential issues.
Yes. Anytime the car cuts off, but luckily these carbureted cars, not like electrical cars, that it could be just a ground wire somewhere along the way.
Maybe a carburetor issue.
Yep, very true.
Not that we've ever had that problem.
No, never.
You see next to him the 69 machine on the trailer. That's Dan Pacella. That was one of the modified cars that went at it, and boy, did that 69 machine just about lose everything in the rear. As you can see on our modified or outlaw Demolition Derby that we have posted, or will have posted here on our Low Budget TV YouTube channel.
It looks like the 41 still having issues.
Now they're starting to peek under the hood. Tommy, talk about sudden massive issues for the Carter family.
Yeah. And I believe the clock has run out for the Carter
Are you ready?
family. Both cars not able to compete in the main event. So here we go.
From our race director.
Counting them down.
Okay, on
8
fire.
cars for the main event here at the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds Destruction Derby 2016.
Let's go, Grayson!
Who are you keeping an eye on, Tommy?
The 32 car looks good. The 00 car is fixed up as much as it can be. He's got to look out for that right front. But the 53 is still brand new, it seems. So I'm looking out for 3 of them. How about that big hit? Jeremy Edwards getting side slapped from the number 22.
I don't think he's going to be seen out of the rear end of that car.
Oh, man. Tony Redneck. Iribiris.
Oh, man, that 22 car is being used up quick. How about this, Tommy? This is going to be an interesting call because Carter got his car started.
Yeah.
They're telling him to come in.
Don't know about that one.
The only reason, if I may, the only reason I would say, like, I know from a derby standpoint, this is an interesting call, but I will say some cars, like the 01 machine of Chambness, have yet to move.
Yeah.
They're still trying to get that car started. Maybe they gave him like you have 2 minutes.
No, I hear you, and
But I
and it
understand.
is the start of the Demolition Derby, and they're also hurting for cars. Let's put it right out there. 8 cars is not what this event used to be. So when you need as many cars on track, make it happen.
But what's good, Tommy, we heard it during the drivers' meeting. They are addressing the issues, trying to make this get back to the great Demolition Derby it was. Red flag's coming out right now. We're going to take a look as to why. Obviously, okay, good. Everyone looks like, well, Edwards, the red flag's out. Good.
So we're taking a look at, I believe.
Now, as we talked about, the 01 machine was able to get moving.
Trying to see here.
Struggled on startup there, and so technically the 41 got moving before she did. But Tommy, it is, it's just one of those scenarios that you want to keep an eye on because
Thank you, Craig.
really, it's not like your normal race where you could start a lap down or 2 laps down.
Gentlemen, we're ready to go green again.
But we'll see. We'll see.
The Carters never saying die. They are able to make that 41.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Tommy. They didn't give up.
Now, Jerry, the 49 of Lucas Zonas, I should say, he has no visibility out of his trunk. Same with the 22 of Irebiren. So they're going to have to be creative in trying to hit. Doesn't help that Irebiren has a monkey on his back, literally. All right, so Lucas Zonas.
Pack of cars here. Practicing some figure 8 racing.
There we go. Lucas Zonas, he was trying to aim for the 21, but the 00 Vasquez got to him first.
Tommy, no doubt the car that has taken the biggest beating so far is Irebiren.
Yes.
But he's still running.
But it's not been...
Everyone's still running.
It's not been a beating from somebody else. He's been the one hammering that back end. He's inflicted all his wounds. And let me tell you what,
Lassos did get a good delivery on the left front of that 22 machine.
Yeah. Kayla, looks like her radiator is steaming up. She has a lot of damage on her front end from the heats. This is a used car. Second run in the Destruction Derby. Her first Destruction Derby.
There's a good delivery from Lassos to the rear of the 53 machine. Keeping an eye here on Edwards, just flooring it right now into Irebiren.
Irebiren, the front end was wasted, the back end is wasted.
Oh, look who got it going.
He's putting on a heck of a show, though.
There we go.
Officials keeping an eye out for your usual issues in a Demolition Derby, including anyone that may be trying to sandbag. Watching for driver hits. You're not allowed to hit the driver's door. Edwards.
So both Chamness drivers still going. The 53 looking really sharp still. That car looks brand new. Chris Chamness in the 53.
Yeah, that car's looking really nice right now.
He's able to get off the berm. And how about that one? Robbie Lasso's going airborne, due in part to the hit from the 00. Lasso's now.
We saw Lasso show up with a fresh car this year, and we both kind of looked at each other like, well, this could be fun.
Oh, yeah. And Edwards putting the 49 up on the hill. Lucas Zonas, he's got a lot of work to do now. He's got his drive axle exposed in the air. Wonder if that rear end is locked up in any way. Either way, he's stuffed into that hill.
Tommy, we've seen that 49 machine more than once.
How about that hit from John Vasquez's 00 on Lasso's, putting him up on his trunk.
Tommy, that was a hit that I didn't even see that one coming from the camera side.
Edwards, he's got that front end used and abused. His strategy should hopefully only be with reverse, but the way that 50 car is.
We have a number of cars here that may be on the brink of being out.
49, I would imagine Lucas Zonas is done. The 22, Irebiren hasn't moved on.
Oh, nice delivery from Edwards to the right front of Lassos. You can see Edwards is not afraid to use that front end. Already not much left of it.
And Lasso's returning it on the 50 of Edwards.
The Deadpool machine.
Oh, boy. That was a nice shot to the left front. We look like we have about 5 cars left remaining.
I've seen the 41 of Carter trying. But I believe the 21 machine's out. I think the 22 could be out.
Yeah, that car hasn't moved in, I would guess, 2 minutes or so.
And they have flags here, Tommy. They'll pull those flags.
Yep.
I don't see any flags that have been pulled yet.
Vasquez hasn't moved in a little bit. The 50 of Edwards haven't moved in a little bit. The 53 of Chamness still looks the way he pulled onto the track.
How about Kayla Chamness?
She's still going, so it might be a Chamness top 3 if the 00 and the 50 stay out of this one.
Wow, suddenly down to, looks like 3 cars unless someone gets moving.
Kayla in the 0-1 machine holding on. She had troubles in the start of the Derby, and now it seems like those troubles.
Tommy, it could end up being a shootout between 2 of the freshest looking cars that showed up here today. But Kayla's not done.
Kayla's got to not use that front end, but maybe she doesn't have reverse.
I've been there.
Yes, I know you have.
Last week, I won a Demolition Derby without reverse.
Oh.
And
I would imagine he's timed out by now, but the 41 did move an inch.
He
of
did.
Carter.
Is Vasquez moving, or is he just getting pushed?
Vasquez, he might be getting a push.
And the officials will let people know if try to signal them if they think they're out.
Oh, intersection if we were figure 8 racing. Kayla not being afraid to use her front end. She's got reverse.
She shouldn't be, Tommy. That car has some of me on it.
Yeah, it's got reverse. It's got some of your blood on there.
Literally. Maybe that's good luck. Oh, look at this lineup.
Here we go. And Chris Chamness slams the left side. But can he get? There it is. I was going to say, there's one thing to hit. How can he get off that hill, though?
Chris is going in for another shot, it looks like.
I think he's waiting to see if there. Okay, so now Robbie's moving. Now he's going to use his energy on that hit.
Yeah, there was a rear shot there from the 0-1 machine.
I think that was the first of many, of few, I should say.
Tommy, the red flag's
coming out. Chris Chamness flaming up just a little bit. The fire with the flash fire, so it could be something of a oil leak. I mean, the way it went out could have sprayed oil on the headers.
Chris has his portable fire extinguisher in the car that he yanked out, and by the time he was ready to use it, fire crew's already on it.
There he is.
That's a bummer for Chris, though, Tommy.
Oh, he still has plenty car left in it, too.
I mean, no doubt we would see this car again next year, but it's just such a bummer because he's in it to win it right now.
Yeah,
it could be a showdown between Kayla and Robbie.
But how do you feel bad when his daughter's still in the action?
Oh, we just sprayed a firefighter in the face.
Oh boy, I got to talk over this music because they love it here at the Antelope Valley Fair, and you're gonna hear me talk more into the microphone. I wonder if they're gonna let Chris continue on in this destruction derby.
If they can determine maybe why the car.
I mean, the fire flashed on for a few seconds and then burnt out. So
I've been through one of those. Sometimes, Tommy, it's as simple as just a piece of plastic or something catching on fire.
Cap could have popped off of one of the oil. Power steering,
something might have
transmission,
The way it went up and went down, it was a quick fire. So they're talking to him right now.
Trying to figure it out. I would imagine if they let him go and the car catches on fire again, that's when he's ejected.
Yeah.
All right, he's going to continue on.
Yep, and that's probably what they were letting him know.
And they said that in the drivers' meeting earlier today. They said if it's a flash fire, we'll consider it. Okay, so we still could be at 3 cars.
But now Chris is kind of just in the hands of the fire gods here.
And if his car can get off the hill there.
I feel pretty good. The car's been good. Lassos has been suffering from a right rear flat tire in this Demolition Derby, that 32 machine. And then Kayla, as we know, hasn't had a radiator. Now, Tommy, Kayla's how new to this Demolition Derby stuff?
So new, this is her first Destruction Derby.
Now, here's the thing I'm wondering. Did she shut the car off? And will it restart?
Yeah, that's a rookie move right there.
It's one of the things that you'll do and then go, oh, crap, maybe the car will restart. But we've seen it multiple times where you shut off a car in a derby, the motor gets hot, it doesn't want to start back up.
Here we go, back to green. Keeping an eye on Kayla, keeping an eye on Robbie. And Carter, I believe he's got a left front broken. The way that car will not want to move forward. Now he's got himself stuck on the 21. All right, so if anything, Chris can use his daughter Kayla as a hold and lock.
Tommy, we got another fire on the track.
And it's the 41 of Carter. Kayla's car running though.
Well, we got fire crews, so we need to throw the red.
Only one. No,
Kayla did get it running.
there's no technical red flag. There's no
there
one.
needs to be. We got
No, it's a corner caution as it's a road
corner
caution.
caution. Yeah, okay.
Back to green. Actually, the yellow flag waved.
Okay. Well, Kayla's still in it.
3 cars left to finish this destruction derby off. 2 of them as teammates. Jeremy Edwards fires back up. All right, so
Jeremy's rolling.
he's rolling, but that car does not look like it's working too well. Looks like he still has steering
And
issues.
the problem with being timed out at this point, for us, from our standpoint, is that we just went through that wrong red flag. So you kind of wonder, how long was he out before, so we have
before that
officials.
red flag, yeah.
We have officials that'll take, charge of this stuff.
Well, this could help.
Man, everyone's after Robbie, though.
Yeah, they are. Hitting him in the wheels. Robbie's stuck, though. I mean, he's trying to get that 32 fired up. Edwards is going to keep pounding.
Tommy, we've seen Edwards and that crew coming out with their police car for years, and
Yeah.
you know that they would just love to hash out a victory here. I'm seeing the officials, though. They're giving a signal, I believe, to Jeremy.
He says, yeah, they're timed out.
So
I saw the head official give him the cut across the neck symbol. So I'd imagine that means he's done.
I believe the head official is relaying that to the announcer right now.
And you wonder, is Jeremy going to literally park his car right there? Because if so, that totally screwed Chris in the 53.
Tommy, I think they all are stuck.
There we go. Chris is going to make it move himself.
Sorry, he was in the water too long.
Yep, so Edwards has been considered timed out. They're stuck.
They're stuck. So an out of time car continues on and puts Chris literally.
This is what Chris has to do right
Yeah.
here.
Stuff him on the mouth. There we go. So now Chris is
row
free.
one of Kayla still running.
That car's smoking up though. Means there's got to be some sort of a oil leaking on somewhere.
Kayla may be
Okay.
out of it. She's been able to get
Nope.
that car to restart.
She just
once-
moved. She's
Yeah.
moving again.
A lot of the females in the audience rooting her on. She goes and knocks in the 22 car, reminding
Hey.
him that he was in a derby once.
Exactly. He's he's the brakes.
Is it possible that Robbie's out?
Well, until he rips that stick or gets timed out, you got to beat on him if you want to beat him.
He's still moving.
I think that helped number 32, Robbie.
Tommy, the Demolition Derby I was in just a week ago, we saw a scenario where it was just me and another car. I hit him, and he was stuck because he had a flat tire on his
Yeah,
drive wheel.
exactly.
But when I hit him, it actually gave him the momentum to move again. That could have been a scenario we just saw with Robbie.
Oh man.
As you mentioned, I didn't. That was a nice hit there.
Yeah, still good hits going on for as banged up as these cars are. And I don't see any movement from anybody but Kayla now.
Oh my goodness. Can Kayla pull the upset?
Oh,
Chris
boy.
is still rolling.
Robbie, I'm taking a look at Robbie here. He's still working on the dash, seeing if he can get that 32 fired back up.
32's not moving.
Chris is going to deliver another hit to the right front. Good thing they chained the bumpers onto the body panels.
You can see the
Robbie,
signs of life. There it is.
there it is. So never say quit in a demolition derby. We've got a newbie, a veteran, and then Chris Chamness in the 53. I don't believe we've seen him out here for that long.
Well, Kayla right now just kind of scooting. Robbie's scooting. Chris is lining it up though. He's just eyeing his prey right now.
Yeah, except for he needs to inch out. Robbie knows it too. So Robbie's going to use the 00. All right. Robbie looks to be stuck again. Robbie trying to get that 32 fired up, and he gets it going.
Nice delivery shot. Right now, Tommy, if they were to call it, I would imagine the 53 machine would be declared your winner.
The most active car on the field.
He's the one delivering hits, but Robbie's trying to get it going.
Robbie has a wheel hung up somewhere or something. Transmission may be going out.
Kayla, I don't know what she's giving a signal right now.
Oh, the 32 up in flames. Robbie Lassos.
That was the signal. A lot of flash fires in this one. And Tommy, it's worth mentioning, we keep referencing the Derby from last week.
Yeah.
What did we see a lot last week?
A fuel cell go up in flames.
Yeah, that was a big fire we had out at Irwindale Speedway.
And that could be another thing, though. Robbie's machine could be another line or cap or something flashing up. He stays in the car. The firemen walk away. And we might see this one continue on here.
So the 3 cars still in it. Chamness, and Lassos.
All right, so
maybe seeing another scenario where if a car were to catch back on fire. Remember, now the 2 guys running for it have both caught on fire during this Derby.
Yeah, exactly. Jeffrey, as a competitor, this is a fun Derby to watch. Purely because we've all been in this situation where our cars haven't run the best towards the end, but you still have a fighting chance. It's all about that strategy to keep your car in order and find a way to knock out the other. As a fan, you want to see those hard hits going crazy all throughout the Derby. And this is aggravating as a fan because you're like, oh. But as a driver, this is bite your nails while trying to play chess at the same time.
Yeah, from the driver's seat right now, this is as intense as it gets.
Oh, Chris giving his own signal, jumping out of his car.
We got a driver out there with a fire.
Oh, man. So Chris, it looks like he might be done for the night. He put up one hell of a fight, Chris Chamness in the number 53.
But now where does the declaration go?
I would have to say Robbie because he's been more active.
They're
than
just
Kayla.
walking away from Who's it gonna be, ladies and gentlemen?
But Chris just jumped back in his 53 car.
I don't even think he's buckling back in for the rest of this. Yeah, I figured it was a fire signal there.
I love how he jumped out of his car. Hey, I'm on fire, by the way. Thank you, Mike.
If anybody can move.
Back to green.
But Tommy, with all these fires, you gotta wonder. I mean, I see fluid underneath that 53 machine. Is it possible that something important is going to get melted or burnt on that 53 machine before?
Yeah, you never know. Robbie has got to keep that 32 inching along because he's right now the one that could be the winner.
It's like Robbie's having transmission issues.
Transmission or carburetor or something. It's like it keeps stalling out. Let's take a listen.
Now he stops.
Come on, Robbie, get her fired up one more time.
Like he's got that thing smoking out the exhaust means that it's running. He'll move an inch and then it'll shut down.
I'll be curious to see who. I mean, Robbie was technically the last car moving.
Yep.
Declare a winner here or put a time limit on it.
Oh boy, Chris is still trying to get that 53 fired up. Kayla has been stuck on the berm there for a while.
Kayla's out of it at this point.
Yeah, the clock is already washed out for her. There's been no stoppage.
Okay.
Longer
and
or shorter than 2 minutes. All right, here we go. Who's going to fire up first? Chris is kind of just settling back in his 53 machine. If it was me, Jeffrey, and this is the end of the Derby, I would have to say Lassos. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
there it is.
Checker flags flying. Lassos was the last car moving, even if it was for an inch.
Number 32, Robbie Lassos, our 2016 stock Demolition Derby winner.
And sometimes, Tommy, I'll tell you, as a Derby competitor from Chamness point of view, I've been in that situation where you're doing everything you can to finish off a car and it just won't quit, and then yours does first. A great showdown between both Chamness and Lassos, but Tommy Lassos had to deal with 2 cars there for a while. He had a lot cut out for him.
He had to work that one. His car was running horribly. He had teammates up against him, but that new car brought him home a trophy from the 2016 Antelope Valley Fairgrounds Destruction Derby here on Sunday annually at the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds in Lancaster, California. Thank you all for watching, as we'll be back here again next year. Again, a lot of motorsports coverage from this fair this year, so go ahead and look through YouTube, and of course, while you're there, hit subscribe and you get to see all the motorsports coverage we do all year. Jeffrey, that was fun. I'm Tom Mason. Who are you?
I'm Jeffrey Best.
Hey, we'll see you at the races.
Thank you for helping.